Good day, you sexy internet travelers. Bailey here, and today I'm here to talk to you about the anime Fuuka. And oh, do I have some mixed feelings about this one, but you know what? They're all pretty good mixed feelings, so let's dive in. Fuuka is a romance music anime from Studio Diomedia. Am I pronouncing that right? Probably not. Which recently did Honda-kun. Now, one thing I want to clear up right away are these genre tags, one of which is ecchi. And, you know, I can sort of see how they're getting here, but I think there's a difference between ecchi and some fan service. When I think ecchi, I think of a highly sexualized anime, like, for instance, Pro Bud Wrestling, where the anime is constantly revolving around a sexual aspect. But something like lingerie or a panty shot is not something I would label ecchi. Fuuka, I don't feel, is at all dependent upon a sexual aspect, and I think they're just putting in some boob and panty shots in the first few episodes to try to get a few more viewers hooked. But I think that aspect is going to deteriorate throughout the season. The first episode starts off with Fuuka running like a rabbit for who knows what reason, and she totally catapults herself straight into our other main character, Yu Haruna. Now, I'm not gonna lie, my first impression of Fuuka was that she was a total bitch. She doesn't even apologize to this guy, and then she accuses him of taking panty shots when he was just looking at his Twitter. She takes his phone, breaks the thing, and then slaps the shit out this boy right across the face. And I'm just like, dang girl, you really need to take a few chill pills. It's good. It's good. You're good. Now they make up after Haruna returns the CD she drops, and Fuuka invites herself to go to a movie with him upon noticing that he has 2 tickets. They act like a couple to get a discount and leave with 2 phone charms, and here's where things start to get a little if you know what I mean. Haruna says Fuuka can keep the cell phone charms because they're not really a couple, and she turns around with this sly little line, "We don't know that yet." And I'm like, oh shit. Now, unfortunately, going into the second and third episodes, this line doesn't stick in our little Haruna's head, and he is unable to figure out that Fuuka is obviously interested in him. But unfortunately, here is where I fret the casual, lighthearted atmosphere is going to come to a screeching halt, because in the second episode, we get introduced to Little Miss childhood friend, national pop star Koyuki Hinashi. Thus, the love triangle begins, and this is going to be tragic because she is just the sweetest girl and has the biggest crush on Haruna, and yet she is at this huge disadvantage because, let's just be honest, the anime isn't named after her, which is really unfortunate because personally, I'm all on board the Koyuki Haruna ship, and I am seeing the iceberg ahead, but you know what? Screw it, full force ahead, mighties. And on a side note, we also got introduced to one of Fuuka's friends, perceptive and openly homosexual character Makoto Mikasa. Now, going into the third episode, things are really starting to get interesting, because our thick-headed Haruna is finally figuring out that Fuuka might actually be interested in him. They go out on the beach and they go swimming, and Fuuka falls off her floaty and begins drowning, so that was a quick turn of events. And after totally failing to save her, Fuuka is able to save him by performing CPR. This leaves Haruna fretting over the lip-to-lip contact, and he can't figure out if it is making her self-conscious or if he's just making a big to-do over nothing. But then Fuuka finally approaches him and says, "Hey, let's not bring this up to nobody because that was my first kiss and I'm insecure about that." And she all blushing, and so hopefully at this point, Haruna is figuring things out, but he really is thick, so I'm not getting my hopes up here. But here is where things really start to go downhill, because the love triangle is a-comin' and it means business. Koyuki texts Haruna and asks to meet up, and he goes, and they end up meeting up and creating this beautiful moment where they are sitting together with this perfect screensaver moment, and Haruna tells her that she is beautiful. And then with almost perfect timing, Fuuka comes right along and sees her in his arms. Thus, the downward spiraling into an inevitable heartbreak begins. I am dreading this. So my initial impression of this series is that, it's pretty cliche with the childhood friend love triangle, and none of the characters really have too much personality, but even with that said, I'm having a really good time watching it, and I'm really going to enjoy this downward spiral into abysmal depression. And now, regardless of whether or not you're on Team Koyuki or Team Fuuka, one thing we can all agree on is that we all hoping Makoto gets that sexy lifeguard. Thank you all very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please share, like, and subscribe for more. And as always, stay sexy, internet travelers.